Hey everyone, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel, and once again it is Weigh-In Wednesday, but once again it's actually kind of Weigh-In Thursday. So in the clip you just saw, that was my weigh-in yesterday morning, Wednesday, and I weighed in at 289.7, which was a 3.4 pound loss for the week. So I'm really happy with that. I think that's fabulous. Yeah, can't hit on it. Continuing to lose at about the right pace. Last week I thought I had lost like 2 pounds, but I actually looked at my weight loss log and it was only closer to 1 pound. So I'm not surprised that this week I had a larger loss. It just kind of works out like that sometimes. Sorry about the noise in the background. Someone else is vacuuming in another room. Hopefully it's not too loud. So yeah, I've been doing really good with my eating. Actually, yesterday, which was the 4th of July, was the closest I have been to kind of like breaking my lines this entire time I've been on Bright Line eating. I did not eat flour. I did not eat sugar, but we went to a fireworks show in Rancho Cordova, and I knew that there would be food there, and I kind of assumed that I would be able to piece together something that resembled a Bright Line meal. But to my surprise, pretty much everything was junk food. And that may not sound surprising to some people, but I live in a pretty large metro area of California. And there are a lot of health conscious people here. So even at festivals and things like that, usually I can find healthy foods. But the closest thing I could find to healthy food there was actually an Indian food truck. So I ended up getting, everything I ate was Bright Line friendly, but not necessarily for the meal I was eating. I was eating dinner there, and I ended up ordering something that had potatoes in it, and potatoes are technically a grain. So, but that was pretty much my choices. Not eat at all, which really was not a good option considering there was like a 1 mile walk there, a 1 mile walk back. We were going to be there 4 or 5 hours, and I hadn't eaten dinner, and surrounded by all that junk food, I just decided that the best thing I could do was make the best of what was there. So I had like a chana masala dish that had chickpeas and potatoes in it, along with a little bit of butter chicken. So I'm sure my fat quantities were probably off. I'm sure there was more fat in that dish than I needed. Just in like the buttered chicken sauce. And potatoes, like I said, not really a Bright Line dinner item. But I'm not happy about it, but I'm not upset about it. I mean, it was okay. And I ended up not eating that much anyways, so it all kind of worked out. Fireworks show was great, and what else? I don't know, this week has just been kind of, going pretty smoothly. I have had a few non-scale victories, and I kind of wanted to talk about that because I kind of sometimes get caught up on how many pounds did I lose this week. When, aside from the pounds I'm dropping, there's a lot of things happening that are small victories every day. So I kind of made a list of them. I'll start off with the big one. Since I have gotten over 300 pounds, when I got over 300 pounds, I started to experience elevation sickness. Now, my mom suffers from elevation sickness. I'm told my grandfather suffered from it. There may be some kind of genetic predisposition to having issues adjusting to elevation. But when I was at my highest, which was between like 350 and 380, I couldn't go to an elevation above probably about 3,000 feet. I remember when I went to Vegas last October with my cousin, we went to Red Rock Canyon, and I think it was about 340, 350 then, and once we got to about 3,500 feet at Red Rock Canyon, where I've been before and was totally fine when I was under 350, I started to have problems breathing. So my friend and I decided to take a drive into the hills. We live pretty close to the Sierras. And we didn't intend on going into Nevada, but we wanted to take a drive, get up to about 4,500, 5,500 feet and see how I did. So that's what we did. We got in the car and we drove, and we just kept driving. Like, I didn't start to develop any of the shortness of breath or um, the other thing I get is, on top of shortness of breath, is I would feel like extremely heavy. Like, I would have trouble walking. I felt like my body was just a huge lead weight. And that didn't happen. So we kept going and going and going, and eventually ended up in Reno in Sparks, which was awesome because I have a friend up there, and we were able to meet up with her for dinner. And I didn't really have any trouble the entire time. So I think pretty soon I'm going to take a trip up there to visit her for a couple of days and see how I do. See if the, elevation is fine the whole time, or if it becomes a problem after about 24 hours. I do remember when I went to visit her when I weighed about 320, which is only 30 pounds heavier than I am now. The morning after I got there, I felt horrible. I was supposed to stay like 5 days, and I ended up only staying 2 nights because I felt like I couldn't catch my breath. I just felt absolutely horrible. So I'm really, really hoping that the weight loss and, the fact that I'm eating better and all of that will improve my elevation sensitivity, because it does limit everything you can do. When you can't go over high elevation, there's certain places you can't travel across the country because you have to go through areas of high elevation to get to where you want to be. For example, my dad lives in Ohio. I would love to take a road trip to see him, but if we want to go to Ohio, we have to go all the way down through like Las Vegas and southern Arizona just to avoid the Sierra Mountains, because going over Colorado, I think the highest elevation you hit is like over 8,000 feet, and there's no way I could have done that before. So fingers crossed that will kind of resolve itself as I lose weight. So other non-scale victories, let's see. Last night we had to sit in a booth. After the fireworks show, my friend wanted to go to eat because he actually didn't eat because he's doing keto. And we ended up going to BJ's Brew House, which I've been to a ton of times, but we never get a booth because I, would always be too big. So we decided to try it again last night, and I fit in the booth pretty comfortably. So I was really, really, really happy about that. Because unless you've ever been large enough to where you didn't fit in a booth, that's something that most people don't even think about. And it's really annoying. I can't tell you how many times that I've gone into a restaurant and not really been able to eat there because I could not fit in the booth. Or we've had to wait an extra 20 minutes for a table because I could not fit in the booth. So I'm really hopeful that booths will continue to be less of a problem. What else? Oh, I actually had to adjust my seat and steering wheel in my car because I was driving home one day and I'm like, why am I so far from the steering wheel? Like, I can hardly reach this. So yeah, I've lost enough weight that I actually had to tighten that up a little bit, and that was pretty cool because, again, fitting in cars when you're morbidly obese is a problem. So the fact that I can fit more comfortably in my own car is fantastic. So we're actually going to be buying a car sometime in fall, a new one again. And I'm kind of looking forward to going car shopping because a lot of our car shopping experiences have been have kind of revolved around my weight. What can I fit into comfortably? And that's how we would narrow down what kind of car we got. So I'm really hopeful that maybe some vehicles I like that I haven't really been comfortable in before may be an option when we get to looking in the fall. Let's see. I made some notes so I come down here. I bought my first shirt in a 22-24 and it actually fits. I went to Lane Bryant this week and I tried on a ton of different tops, and everything in the 26-28, which is what I have been wearing, and that's down from like a 30-32 already, was way too big, like huge. And luckily I had picked up one of those tops in a 22-24 and it fit beautifully, and I wore it yesterday, and that was really exciting because I had not been able to fit a 22-24 top. And over 10 years, easily over 10 years. So that was really exciting. And it's exciting when I go down sizes, because as I go down, that just opens up more opportunities for places to shop. You know, before I started Brightline Eating, I was really limited to Torrid. I refused to do the majority of my shopping with any kind of like extended plus size catalog like Women Within or Romans, which there's nothing wrong with them. I just didn't want to do that, which basically left me with Torrid, because even Avenue, even though they have size 20 to 32 in store, it's very, very limited. And I had better luck ordering or shopping in the store with Torrid and finding things that fit. So I was really, really happy about that. That's exciting. And also exciting because I feel like it's taken forever for my upper body to catch up with my weight loss on my lower body. So, you know, finally going down another size in my tops was really exciting. My old PJs aren't fitting anymore. They're too big. So actually going to put something on and it falling right off is kind of a nice experience. And my energy levels and things like that have really started to improve. I still have days on Brightline Eating. Excuse me, I've got allergies. Where I feel weak. Like my body is trying to recoup from the massive amount of weight loss that I'm having. But I'm having more days where I have more energy, and it's kind of nice. Like yesterday when we went to the fireworks show, it was actually a very, very long walk. We had to park at the high school, and then the actual fireworks show was at a neighboring park. And it was about a mile from where, I guess, okay, for a fat person, it's a long walk. But it was basically a mile walk there and then another mile walk back. It was over 2 miles. And I've been able to walk that before. That really wasn't a problem. But the fact that I was able to walk it, I didn't have to slow down. I didn't have to take breaks. My knees didn't hurt. My back didn't hurt. Like, it felt fabulous. And we even had to go up a flight of stairs coming back. And you know, I didn't feel like, okay, I need to catch my breath or anything. Just kept going and didn't even think about it. And then when we got back, my friend was like, you know, you handled that pretty well. And I was like, oh, yeah. You know, and that's probably different for people around me too, because everyone in my life around me who isn't overweight has always, you know, been really aware of my limitations, because when we go places, they could keep going and going and going, but I would have to stop for breaks, you know. So when I guess when I don't have to stop for a break, or I'm not whining about how bad my feet or my knees or my back hurt, they notice. So yeah, so everything's going pretty good. I'm really looking forward to this week because I have an MRI for my shoulder finally, and I don't know how much I've talked about that, but there's some kind of tendonitis going on in my shoulder that's causing problems from about here all the way down to my elbow. And I think it's bicep tendonitis as opposed to calcified tendonitis, which is what I have had before. And I really want to get that resolved and get it fixed because it is interfering with everything. It's hard to get dressed. It's hard to sleep. Basically everything I do, I'm in pain. It's kind of driving me up the wall. So they're finally doing an MRI on that this week. And I think that's about it. I don't really have anything else coming up. I thought I was going to have to drop out of my mastermind group because of the day of the week that we were having our meetings. It just became really burdensome because my boyfriend had his hours changed and it was conflicting with my mastermind meeting. But luckily, the wonderful ladies in my mastermind group are willing to try and work out a new time for our meetings. So that's something we're working on. And I'm really hopeful that we will be able to keep the group together because it's been a wonderful experience and resource during Brightline Eating. So if you're doing Brightline Eating and don't have a mastermind group, I highly recommend getting one. Yeah. And I think that's it. Everything's going great. Weight loss is fantastic. Happy with my results. Other than being bored with my food choices, okay. I do have one more thing I want to talk about if you're still watching this. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but I've been doing Brightline Eating for I don't know how many days now. I know it's over 100. But certain foods that I used to love, I can no longer stand. Like they literally are like revolting to me. Particularly things like zucchini and certain squashes and asparagus. I hate, like, it's like my taste buds are changing. So I've kind of been in this like rut with my food where I've been eating the same things over and over and over and over again. I really gotta stop that. I've basically been living on lettuce, tomatoes, eggplant, and cauliflower for a couple of months. So I'm really trying to switch that up. But I don't know if you're doing bright line eating. Did you, experience that? Did your taste buds change? Did foods you love became foods you hate? And did that ever go away? Did you ever go back to liking that food? I mean, I tried to eat asparagus a couple of weeks ago, and it was actually like literally disgusting. I had to spit it out. And everyone around me was eating it, and they're like, it's fine, what's wrong? But to me, the flavor was just revolting. I don't know what it is. So yeah, if anybody else has had that problem, let me know. I'm hoping it kind of resolves itself. Because again, I need to broaden my horizons when it comes to my vegetables. I need to get out of this funk. It's not really a funk. I mean, I'm not like totally sick of my food. I need to switch it up. So anyway, so that's it. That's my week. I hope everyone is having a great week, and I'll check in with you guys again next Wednesday. Bye.